Do you know who I love? Repo Man. But do you know who also I have strong feelings for? It's your man, known as Kane. As you've seen from the title of this video, that's exactly the WWE superstar we're going to focus on today. Given that the man behind the mask, Glenn Jacobs, has now become the mayor of Knox County, you've got to think that his WWE career has pretty much come to a close. I'm sure he'll do the odd special appearance here and the odd special appearance there. But it does mean, for the first time ever, at least from my mouth, we can go back through the entire career of a pro wrestler and we give the good bits an up and we give the bad bits a down. You know how this works. So Kane, welcome to the party. These are your ups and downs. It's like this is your life if you live in Britain. Is that in America? Probably. It's wonderful. I'm pumped. Let's do it. The first and biggest up when we're talking about Kane is, of course, when he first appeared on the scene in 1997 at the Bad Blood pay-per-view, and for my money, it's one of the best damn debuts I've ever seen. It was like a bomb had gone off in my head. I was so excited as a kid, and also, little story for you here, I'd actually snuck downstairs to watch this pay-per-view, even though my parents had specifically said, "Don't you do that, Simon, or we're gonna whoop your ass." They didn't say that. My parents never threatened to kick me in my bum region, but they did say don't do it. But I did it because I wanted to see what was going to happen. Everything was so well handled that Kane was a star instantly, including that line by Vince McMahon, that's gonna be Kane." Well, you would know, Vince. You booked this. It just all tied in so well too, with The Undertaker and his former manager Paul Bearer at war with one another. Bearer said, "Look, Taker, unless you get back with me, I'm going to unleash your darkest secret on the world." And that, of course, is the fact the brother you thought was dead is actually still alive. The Undertaker didn't know what to make of any of this, but of course Kane appeared at the first ever Hell in a Cell match, and he got in The Undertaker's face and he gave him a tombstone that not only caused him to lose, but he also ripped the damn door off its hinges. My word, this was a great way to say hello WWE. He didn't do that. Imagine Kane had walked down, ripped the door off, got in tombstone and gone, "Hello WWE." That would have sucked. Our first down, though, comes when we start talking about See No Evil, the WWE Studios movie that Kane starred in. Now, all things considered, it was actually decent, and it made around $10 million profit for the company. And if you know what some of their other films did, you know that should be considered a massive success. The problem came in how all of this was marketed across TV. All of a sudden, Kane was hearing voices in his head long before Randy Orton was even hearing whispers, and then he was obsessed with the date May 19th. What was going to happen on May 19th? Don't go up to the big red machine and mention the day May 19th. Facing Big Show at Backlash, he spent the majority of the match saying weird stuff like, "Oh, it's happening again and I can hear them," or some bollocks. And then on May 19th, all he did was beat the crap out of Rey Mysterio and JBL. I mean, you can do that if you want. You're a big dude. You do whatever you want. Or maybe it's just Kane's birthday. He didn't like May 19th because it was his birthday and he never gets any presents. But that's just ridiculous. As we knew outside of the story, this was just cheap advertising because that was the release date of the movie. And then finally within the narrative, it turned out, oh no, this was the day when Kane's family were killed in a big fire. Probably shouldn't be as flippant about that as I just was. But the point was, it came, it went, and then an imposter Kane arrived and that story was thrown out the window. And everyone just forgot about it. The movie was out, who gives a shit anymore? This was just all poorly thought out and didn't help the character at all, hence the down. Let's now get on to the most recent version of the Demon Kane, and I'm sure this is going to split a lot of people right down the middle, because in 2018, a lot of people look at him and go, "Oh, he's past it, he's not what he once was." It's my show, it's my ups and downs, let's get an up. Now, really, yes, this should get a down, because when you start to think about statements such as you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain, Kane has just been around so long, he's been put in some very, very bad situations. He just isn't the monster he once was, and he had such a storied career that eventually WWE were like, "It's Kane! We can do whatever we want with him. Let's just throw him into some random feuds. What do you mean the fans don't like it? We'll kill that feud. Start another one, I'll kill that one as well," and so on. However, to even get to that point, you've got to have had some longevity, and that's why I give Kane a free pass on this one. And also, some of the stuff he did with Seth Rollins was alright. It was silly, but it was alright. Again, it's not his fault that he gets used as a scapegoat a lot. For example, after Daniel Bryan won his World Championship at WrestleMania 30, he was picked as his first opponent. And what's the big red machine meant to do? He just got to do his job. It is probably time to retire the character given all of this and what's going on in the man's personal life, but hey, who would have thought we'd still be here in 2018 given he appeared in 1997? That is no small feat. Another down though, when with no other opponents to face, mostly because he'd run through them all, WWE management decided to have John Cena and Kane feud over a t-shirt slogan. Now you may have smirked a little bit when I said that, but that is essentially what was going on here. This is why it's getting a down. As we know, Cena loves to arrive at venues all across the world with a t-shirt that says Rise Against Hate. But when Kane saw this, he was like, no, I don't agree with you, John. I think you should embrace the hate. Neither agreed with the other, so they fought about it. This is about as shallow as you can get in WWE. One dude wanted to be positive, the other dude wanted to be negative. Let's tango. On paper, it wasn't actually that bad because Kane versus John Cena did sound like a fresh and new matchup, but really all this turned into was Kane trying to make John Cena turn on the fans before his big WrestleMania match with The Rock, and Cena kept turning around going, nope. Out of ideas, Kane then decided, well, if you're not going to listen to me, I'll just go and beat up your friend Zack Ryder, thinking that would be enough to turn Cena to the dark side. Have a think a minute. Do you think it worked? If you thought yes, you must be part of the WWE writing team. It did not work. The Elimination Chamber eventually rolled around, and as you probably figured out, Cena did beat Kane, and that was that, and all we got from this was a bunch of wasted time. We should also talk about Kane's first ever world title run, which is very strange when you look at it in hindsight because it was so quick, but it was also a spot of marketing genius getting up. Coming at the King of the Ring 1998, where everything in the WWE just revolved around the idea of how is Vince McMahon going to get the title off Stone Cold Steve Austin, the chairman of the board came up with a great idea. Rattlesnake, you're going to fight the Big Red Machine in a first blood match, and how you're going to win that when your opponent not only has a mask, but basically his whole body is covered in a costume. That made it clear that something was going to happen, and fans tuned in droves to see it. Loads of people bought the pay-per-view, and then 24 hours later on Raw, thinking that Austin may win the title back, it scored a 5.4 rating. Everybody was correct. Stone Cold was the champ again, and Kane wasn't hurt at all because he looked like he could kill you. Now, if you were to ask me, I think that Kane actually deserved a longer reign here, given that he was at the peak of his powers, but it all worked. It all made everybody a lot of money, and also, given the character, he was a dude that never actually needed the title all that much to begin with. When you put all that in a pot and it comes out, that's definitely an up for me. This one will get under people's skin too, but corporate Kane, ha ha! Getting up. Don't get me wrong, this was really, really dumb. WWE took one of the best monsters they'd ever had and they just made him do data entry for Stephanie McMahon or something. Or in other words, in 2014 and 2015, he was the director of operations, and right now, 4 or 5 years later, I still don't know why. But he was such a goof, I couldn't help but enjoy it. It'd be like The Undertaker coming back on this week's episode of Raw, and he's a pizza delivery guy. And some of the stuff that Kane did. He worked a concession stand, he squirted mustard at Santina Marella, he had a food fight with Ryback. I could almost hear Vince McMahon in my head going, well, this is all about entertainment. Although the whole thing did hit a huge roadblock at the Royal Rumble 2015, where for some reason, he and the Big Show just took over and started hurling favourites out left, right and centre like we, the fans, wouldn't care. Oh boy, did we care. But sometimes stupid just works. I don't have to worry about that now. That was like back in a different time period. Today, it doesn't affect the modern day product at all, so I ain't going to say horrible things. I will say that it did suck that he sometimes got told off for doing a bad job. I mean, this is a guy that WWE used to book as an actual serial killer, but hey, I liked it so much, I even bought his mug. There it is, there's Kane's mug, world greatest director of operations, and part of the problem is why I get set up. And talking of buffoonery, who on earth could hate Team Hell No? I tell you, people that are devoid of fun. Yeah, no. A surprising career resurgence that on paper sounded like it was destined to fail. I mean, who actually thought this was going to work? Kane, as Daniel Bryan's awkward tag team partner, tapped into that whole classic odd couple thing, and both of them shot up the card because of it. You could even say that this was Kane at his most entertaining, or maybe that was when he was chokeslamming The Undertaker into his own parents' grave. That happened, you can watch that right now. The WWE Network. So, to be blunt, Team Hell No were brilliant. Coming after SummerSlam 2012, when Kane had actually beat Daniel Bryan in a match, AJ Lee, the general manager at the time, decided their rivalry was too heated and sent them to anger management classes. Usually this would be doomed for anyone, but not only did they make it work, but it was some of the best and most entertaining segments WWE's done in the last few years. And eventually, they learned to respect each other and they became the tag team champions. This was all done by June 2013, but you can't take away someone's memories, and I'll have them for life. And even more so, a couple of months ago they had one final run, made my heart go la 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 la, because that's what hearts do. Another controversial entry, which actually a little bit ties into my love of the Legend of Zelda series, as weird as that sounds. But For example, I understand that Breath of the Wild is a brilliant video game, but I just didn't like it as much as the more traditional Zelda experiences, and that's why when Kane took his mask off, down. This had to happen because it just did, and also in the world of pro wrestling, why even wear a mask if eventually you're not going to take it off? However, from my vantage point, I loved Mask Kane, and he could have worn that thing for the rest of his damn life. And as mentioned, it was massive when it happened. Going down in Madison Square Garden, current Raw GM Eric Bischoff had told Kane, look, tonight you're fighting Triple H, and if you lose, you gotta take your damn mask off. Now, it was weird that it did happen on Raw. Why it didn't happen on pay-per-view, nobody will ever know. But either way, when Kane first revealed his face live on WWE TV, changed everything. Weeks of excellent programming followed as Kane properly snapped, even turning on his current tag team partner, Rob Van Dam. The point of all of this was that Kane's burns weren't real, they weren't physical, they were psychological, and that made him feel dangerous again. He would soon be feuding with Shane McMahon and then being terrified about his brother returning in 2004, but don't worry about that. I can see the upside of that, but again, I go with my gut, and it was just never for me. I'm very sorry. Right, even if you hate WWE's PG direction, even you've got to be pretty happy that because of that, we never have to endure stuff like we did in 2008 when WWE threw together Kane, Gene Snitsky, and Lita. This was horrendous, so much so that I closed my eyes. It's bad straight off the bat because after WrestleMania was over and done with, Kane was told he had to chase Lita and basically harass her even though she wasn't interested. He kidnapped her, made her do things that she didn't want to do, and the whole time Lita was portrayed as a terrified innocent victim, and that was bad. My word. Then it got even worse. Lita was then put into a pregnancy angle where either Matt Hardy or Kane were the father, and what they decided to do was let those two have a match at SummerSlam with the winner getting to marry Lita. I mean, who is writing this bullshit? What the hell? Kane won and therefore wed his bride until a debuting Gene Snitsky turned up, hit the monster with a chair, he fell into Lita, and then that made her have a miscarriage, and then for some reason, Gene Snitsky kicked a baby into the fans. I don't even know. Why am I saying these words? Why am I allowed to say these words? What is wrestling? Somehow this all went on for about a year and only stopped because of all the real life controversy between Edge and Matt Hardy. So who on earth knows what the original plan was? But all I'll say is this, PG forever. I don't ever want to see anything like this again. Crap. Following on from that, well, you know what we've got to address, and it's probably one of the lowest moments in WWE history. It's incredibly sad that Kane had to go through it, but also shows what a company man he is. But yeah, Katie Vick, I mean, how else can I say it? What the f***? How this didn't kill the careers of both Triple H and Kane, I will never know, but during, I guess, a creative meeting in 2002, somebody went, you know what missing from the WWE product? We need some necrophilia. Now, in my world, as soon as somebody says that, that meeting is cancelled and that dude is probably fired. But here, everybody went, yeah, makes sense. With an impending feud between the game and the Big Red Machine, Triple H went on the offensive and said that yes, Kane's brother in his younger years had been out partying, got in a car drunk, crashed the car, and killed his then girlfriend Katie Vick. This wasn't enough though, because afterwards Trips revealed that they'd found traces of semen within the dead body of Katie Vick, and he then pondered, did you have sex with her before she died, or did you have sex with her after she passed away? Welcome to Dead Sex, people in the world of professional wrestling. There ain't no going back. Once you know about it, you can never not know about it. If anyone ever comes up to you and goes, tell me about the world of pro wrestling, you've always got to do it with a slight just a bit of sadness on your face. If you don't, you know deep down it's there, niggling away the day WWE said that a giant man had sex with a dead body. The image we all remember is Triple H sneaking into a funeral parlor and then pretending to have sex with a mannequin that looked like Katie Vick. But what a lot of us forget is that last line where he said, yep, I just screwed your brains out. I don't even want to do this. I don't want to talk about this anymore. Why? The real question, which still stands today, is who was this for? I don't know anybody in history who has ever said, I need a bit more dead sex necrophilia in my mainstream wrestling product. It blows my brain. It blows my brain. And then, at their match, at the pay-per-view, Kane still lost to Triple H. My word. With all that said, though, and pushing that one specific incident to one side, Kane has had one of the best careers ever in WWE, and for me personally, he's one of my favourite characters of all time. I think I'm a little bit in love with him. And Glenn Jacobs, he's a smart and he's a wonderful man to boot. That makes me pleased. So yeah, Kane, if we only see you sporadically from now on, thank you for a lovely 20 or so years, And I'm not going to mention anything to do with Isaac Yankton. Don't worry about that. That was you just finding your place. And you found your place with the damn big red machine. You always will be. Now, don't forget to leave a comment below and let us know what you think about Kane's career. Up, down, left, right, centre, who knows what. Like, share and subscribe, then head over to WhatCulture.com. There's an article about the ups and downs for Kane, and he disagrees with me, so there's a fight right there. And you can follow WhatCulture on Twitter at WhatCulture WWE. My name is Simon from WhatCulture, and I enjoyed this ups and downs for someone's career. Can more people retire, please? So I can do this. Like, Rock, if you announce your retirement, we can do it for you or something. So yeah, I look forward to that. Either way, thanks for watching. See you soon.